Mrs. Susan, I've taken your case. But I believe that Mrs. Lily just wanted to protect her daughter.
Don't think Daniel will protect you. Simon is in a coma. I'm the owner of this house.
We still have to wait for Dad's lawyer. He'll be here in a few days. Then everything will be clear.
Miss Carroll, this girl is not simple. She definitely has some kind of plot. They said that my mom met you recently. She even promised you $1 million.
If you dare to do anything to Mr. Daniel, I won't forgive you.
Miss Carol Bloom, you are the heir to all of Mr. Simon's assets.
What? How is that possible?
Episode 19, The Real Heir.
Why is that? Why did Simon give all his inheritance to her? This poor girl. She's just a stranger. We are Simon's relatives. Simon must have been in a bad mood that day. Something happened to him. I want to revoke this will.
Mrs. Susan, I am Mr. Simon's legal representative. All the words Mr. Simon said when he made the will. He was completely clear-headed.
If so, why did Dad give all his assets to her? She's not related by blood.
Miss Nora, about this matter, I also asked Mr. Simon that day. Mr. Simon, why did you leave all your assets to Miss Carroll? Don't you think everyone else will be surprised?
I've thought about it carefully. Miss Carroll, she can protect my assets. There is honesty and justice in her. I trust her.
Simon is crazy. I am his wife. The heir to the assets must be me. Otherwise, it must be Henry and Nora. Or at most, Daniel. Why did he give it to Carol? He is crazy.
Mr. Lawyer, I will not accept these assets. These is not my assets.
Miss Carroll, I understand. But you have time to think. Mr. Simon also expected you not to accept. If you don't accept all of Mr. Simon's assets will be taken into the National Treasury.
What?
You have a week to think, Miss Carroll. I have to go.
And Susan!
Mom,
Why did you slap Carol?
Tell me the truth quickly. What did you do to Simon? Why is he so crazy?
I didn't do anything. You're lying. You must have done something to my dad.
Mom, Big Sister, please, Miss Carol isn't that kind of person.
Henry, do you defend her?
Big bro. Please take Carol away from here.
Okay, Henry!
Hey, wait.
Henry, you're crazy. You're as crazy as Simon.
Mom. Dadswell says so. What else do you want? I never care about Dad's assets. Only you and Big Sis care.
Mr. Daniel. Why don't you say anything? Are you thinking? Did I do something to Mr. Simon? Then he gave me his assets.
I don't think that, Miss Carol. I'm just thinking. Why did Dad give you this difficult task? My dad wanted you to protect his assets. If you can't, the whole assets will belong to the government. Aunt Susan won't get a penny.
You mean?
My dad certainly doesn't trust Aunt Susan. He doesn't want me, Nora, and Henry to get into this assets war. My dad wanted to protect us from Aunt Susan. So he chose you.
Mr. Daniel.
Miss Carol. I don't care about my dad's assets. I and Henry can make money on our own hands. I'm sorry my dad did that. But he wanted you to protect all his assets. Miss Carol, please fulfill my dad's wish. Please protect his assets.
Mr. Daniel. Mom. Don't be angry anymore.
It turns out that Simon hasn't trusted me all this time. He has doubts. It's a waste of my love for him. I love him with innocent love. But what do I get in return? I can't believe that. Carol. She's like a fox. She's so cunning. I underestimated her. I thought her goal was to be Daniel's wife. But no. Her goal was Simon's fortune. Oh my God. I can't believe it. She's a cunning and scheming girl.
Mom. Actually, you never truly loved Dad, right?
What?
You only loved money. If you truly loved Dad, why did you betray Dad? Henry is not Dad's son.
Nora. Shut your mouth up. You are a useless girl. You can't help me anything. Because you are not a son. I have to do everything.
Mom, you are always like that. You are a woman. Why don't you defend women? I am also your daughter. Henry is also your son. But you always praise Henry. And me? You always criticize.
No matter how hard I try. You don't acknowledge my abilities. I'm not surprised that Dad treats you like that.
Nora, wait. She's getting less and less respectful of me. How dare she talk to me like that? Why doesn't anyone understand me? I didn't do anything wrong. I just did what I thought was right. And I did it right. Only Simon treated me badly. And Daniel. And that poor girl Carol. I don't do anything wrong. The ones who did wrong things to me are them.
Sister Carol, are you still thinking about it?
Nancy, I don't think Mr. Simon would think so intensely. He gave me a heavy responsibility. I'm afraid I can't do it.
But it's Mr. Simon's entire life's assets. Sister Carol, you can't just leave it. If they are put in the National Treasury, is it worth it?
But I don't have the courage. Mrs. Susan is very cunning. And Miss Nora too. I don't know how they will harm me.
Sister Carol, actually, I have something to hide from you. I should have told you sooner. But I think God has guided me. This is the right time.
Nancy, what do you mean? What happened? Oh my God! Is it true?
But I have no proof. I'm afraid if I tell you, you won't believe me.
Nancy, I understand. Tomorrow is the day of decision. The lawyer will ask me to decide on Mr. Simon's will. Nancy, tomorrow, you come to Clark's house with me.
I know, Miss Carol.
Miss Carol. Today is the day you have to make a decision.
Mr. Lawyer, if I inherit all of Mr. Simon's assets, then I have this house, right?
That's right, Miss Carol.
So I will have a right in this house?
That's right.
Mr. Lawyer, I agree to inherit all of Mr. Simon's assets. And the first thing I do is...
Carol, are you crazy? Why did you slap my mom?
Mrs. Susan, Miss Nora, both of you are kicked out of this house. Please pack your things out of here quickly.
Why? Mrs. Susan! Miss Nora! I saw it all! You poisoned Mr. Simon!